I messed up pretty bad. I left my airbrush dirty for quite a few days. But I am going to take this opportunity to show you guys how I clean my airbrush so that it sprays perfectly. Alright, so let's do the darn thing. Mask. Necesario. Mask. Alright, so you're going to need paper towel, a little container, and some acetone, and your airbrush. And if your airbrush is super bad, like I expect mine to be, one of these little squeezy bottles really helps, and I will show you how. First thing I'm going to do is try and wipe out any gunk that I can, if it's not all stuck in there. Pour my acetone here in the little container. I'm gonna let it sit there for just a second. So it's been sitting there for like maybe a minute. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take that same paper towel that I had, I'm just gonna fold it into like a square. I'm going to take one part of it and cover the front. And then I'm going to turn it on, cover the top, and pull back the trigger until you hear like a bubbling noise. Essentially what this is doing is trying to blow back any of the product. Personally, I also take this little thing off here. Again, covering the front, pushing the trigger, and I'm going to go like this. Hold the needle in and out so I can unclog anything that might be stuck in there. I don't know if you can hear the bubbling. Let's see if you can see it. Yeah, there you go. You want it to bubble like that. See all that paint in there? And I'm gonna go ahead and just check on the spray. It is coming out, and it's coming out pretty clear. You can tell it's still a bit clogged though. So I'm just gonna repeat until it's completely unclogged. I want to make sure it's bubbling even when the needle's all the way in. So that means I got anything in that pathway out. Go ahead and spray again. A steady stream. Yes. So essentially when I'm pulling the needle in and out, like you just saw me do, that's what's happening. It's kind of like blowing and pushing out chunks of any paint that is stuck inside of the airbrush. Now, because my airbrush was so clogged, like there was little chunks flying out of it, I am going to fill this up with acetone so I can soak some of the parts. Like this is dirty. So I definitely want to soak some parts just to make sure she's at her peak performance level. So I'm going to take this off here. This is pretty clean now. But I am gonna wipe like the outside and stuff. Look at all that in there. That's nasty. I need to get all that out. I took out the needle. I'm gonna try and take this out here. And I'm gonna take this apart too, just to let it all kind of like sit in there. I'm gonna take this off. I don't have the back part of my airbrush on anymore, so I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna let this soak in the acetone too, because it's got paint all over it and my trigger keeps getting. Alright, well, let's just put this all in there like that. And then, because this is so gunky and nasty, that's where this comes in. I'm gonna put all these little pieces here. Oh, oops. And then I'm gonna put some acetone in this little bottle. Then I'm just gonna move that out of the way and let that soak for a bit. Okay, so I am going to see if I zoom in and see if this helps a bit to see it in action. Okay, look at all that crust and nastiness. No, come on, light. Ugh. Ugh. Gross. So we're gonna take the nozzle and we're just gonna put it in here. We're literally gonna push, just spray through. See if anything comes out. I'm also gonna I have these little like wooden things with little swabs on the end, so I'm just gonna put that in there and I'm gonna try and like, ugh, ew, gross. And I'm just gonna keep doing that to get like all this big chunky crap out of here. Ugh, so nasty. She hasn't been cleaned in a good long minute, y'all. I love her. I really do. I should treat her better. She is old faithful. I've had this girl for a hot minute. My first ever airbrush. She has put me through some things. Oh, come on. Look at that glob of just paint. Nasty. I'm going to spray a bit more acetone in. Let's see if I can zoom out just a little. There. Okay. Good. Ah! Coming out the sides. So dirty. I'm so sorry, girl. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna just spray some down in here too. This is how I usually clean my airbrush. This has never given me any issues. I am not a professional airbrusher. I just do this for work. I do not know how to professionally clean this thing. This is just what I do. So nobody come for me. If it don't work for you, this is not like legal advice or none of that. Clean your airbrush the way you see fit. This is how I clean mine. This is how it works. It is a bloomin' mess, but it works. This little trigger thing came out. Let that soak for a couple seconds in the acetone. And yes, this does in fact work. I have used this method quite a few times. And not only on my airbrush, but on my old Sweetmates airbrush too. It does work. It is just a bit of elbow grease and time to do it, for sure. You know what I'm gonna do? Actually, damn, I don't have my little tool to do it. Shit. Do I? Or will it come off? Yes. You can actually take off this little piece too. So I can get all that in there. Let's see. Let's see if I can blow all this shit out of here. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to go back over the same areas that I already cleaned just to see if any of the acetone has eaten away at any more of the paint so I can, you know, take it off a little bit more easily. So I'm just going to go back and scrub. Let's see if I can show you what this looks like. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's as good as that part's gonna get. And just wipe this down a little bit so you can see what it looks like now in comparison to what it looked like before. It was looking crazy before. Muy crazy. Okay, we can actually see it now. It is not crusted. There's still a little paint in there, but that's cool. This looks much better. Now we're just gonna clean these little pieces in here and put it all back together. I'm going to get all of this out of here though. Yay. Let's get another piece of paper towel. Okay. I'm just gonna pull those out of here. Where's this tiny piece? Oh, here it is. Okay. So here's all of our pieces. I'm just gonna clean them out using the same little tools and the little pot of acetone that I had them soaking in. Just gonna clean, focus, the inside of this. Again, it's definitely doable. It's just, you know, time consuming, and you should know more or less how to take apart your airbrush and how to put it back together. Because that, the first time, I didn't know how to do any of it. And yeah, so I scared the crap out of myself thinking I was never going to be able to get my airbrush back together. But a research and some cussing. Research and some cussing. This is cleaner. I'm not looking for perfect here. I'm just looking for better so that she will spray. Clean this up. and she won't look too gunky and crazy. But if your airbrush doesn't look gunky and crazy, are you even using it? And the thing is, I don't usually use like gel paints in here, because I don't like to aerate the gel with the acetone. I know that doing it with acetone is already kind of like iffy. So like for my lungs and stuff, so I'm not trying to add gel to that. I usually do ¿cómo se dice? Oh my god, what are these things called? Acrylic paints. There you go. I use acrylic paints. So they dry up in the barrel of the airbrush and in all the other parts of the airbrush, as you can see. And they get sticky and gooey and make it damn near impossible for it to spray. So I only do this full cleanup process every couple of months, to be honest with you, because it doesn't really get clogged as long as I do like the maintenance part of it. It does not get clogged. And the maintenance part was basically the first thing you saw me do. As long as I get the paint out of there and blow it through, making sure that there's nothing in there, it'll be fine. 9 times out of 10, it will be fine. Fine. I will make a separate video showing how to just put your airbrush back together, because that was a struggle for me when I first started. Put this in here. Get in there, bruv. Okay. That was the hardest part to be real, in my opinion. That and this one. Getting this in there is like kind of annoying. Or at least it can be. Put the needle in. Put this little baby back in there. This little baby in here. Twist it all the way. Just until you can no longer turn it by hand anymore, because that's for your trigger. And then we're gonna put this little baby back on here. Let me make sure. I don't like pushing the needle all the way to the end. I have it out just like a little tiny bit. You can adjust how much you want yours in or out, and I believe that helps like with the airflow, like how big of a spray you want. And then I'm going to dunk this baby in there. Just wipe it off. All this crap off of her. Okay. And we're gonna put this baby right back on here. Just gonna spray some more in here. Just kidding. Just kidding, y'all. Let's close this so we can see. just pushing through anything that might still be in there till we get a spray. All that was still in there, so we want to get all of that out. Make sure. There we go. Get all that out. There we go. There's still a little in there. Alright, so I'm going to repeat one of the steps just to be sure. As you can see, I think you can see the stream. I don't know. And if your airbrush ever gets stuck, like if it doesn't stop spraying, because you're technically supposed to do this and this. You're supposed to push down. If it ever gets stuck, just pull the trigger up and it should unstick. And after all that, you should have a fairly clean airbrush. Yes, there's still a little bit in mine. That's okay. I always run a little bit of alcohol or acetone through it right before I use it anyways, so that'll be gone. But she did get a deep cleaning and she's looking much better than she was before. Bye. Thanks for watching.